It's Saturday morning. You're 7 years old, and the sun's barely up. But you've been awake for 20 minutes already. You're parked about 6 inches from the television with a bowl of sugary cereal balanced in your lap. The volume's turned just low enough that your parents won't wake up. And then you hear it. That guitar riff. That voice. Previously on X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
If that just gave you chills, this video is absolutely for you. We're going deep on Fox Kids today. The programming block that owned Saturday mornings for an entire generation. The one that genuinely changed children's television forever. We're covering the business moves, the creative gambles that probably shouldn't have worked, the shows that made it legendary, and yeah, the decisions that eventually brought the whole thing down. If you grew up racing to the TV for Power Rangers, X-Men, Spider-Man, or Batman, you're exactly where you need to be. And hey, if you're enjoying this nostalgic trip through your childhood, hit that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel, and you won't miss when we cover more of your favorite shows from back in the day. Alright, let's morph back to 1990. Section 1. The birth of Fox Kids. So before Fox Kids came along, Saturday morning cartoons were completely dominated by the big three. ABC, NBC, CBS. They'd been the only game in town for decades. But Fox, which had only launched as a network back in 1986, spotted an opportunity. September 8th, 1990. That's the day Fox Children's Network was born. It was a joint venture between Fox Broadcasting and its affiliates. And here's something wild. To this day, Fox Kids remains the only form of daytime programming, outside of sports, that the Fox network has ever aired. That's it. Nothing else before or since. At launch, pretty modest. 30 minutes of content on weekdays. 3 hours on Saturday mornings. But Fox had something their competitors didn't. A secret weapon. Her name was Margaret Loesch. Loesch wasn't just some random TV executive. She was a proven powerhouse in children's entertainment. Before Fox Kids, she'd been president and CEO of Marvel Productions. And before that, she worked at Hanna-Barbera, where she developed the Smurfs. We're talking about a 4-time Emmy winner who understood what kids wanted to watch, often before anyone else figured it out. Her vision for Fox Kids was ambitious. She didn't want to just compete with the big three. She wanted to obliterate them. By September 1991, the block got rebranded to Fox Kids Network. Programming expanded to 90 minutes on weekdays, 4 hours on Saturdays. By fall of 1992, 3 hours on weekdays, typically running 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Fox was now playing in territory the major networks had completely abandoned. And then came the show that proved Margaret Loesch was worth every penny. Section 2. X-Men changes everything.
What's the matter? Teacher's pet got cold feet.
October 31st, 1992. Halloween night. X-Men, the animated series, premiered in a primetime 7 p.m. slot. Now, it wasn't supposed to be a huge deal. Honestly, the premiere almost didn't happen at all. Here's what went down. A Korean animation studio called ACOM handled the animation. When they delivered the first episode, it needed hundreds of fixes. The industry term is retakes. ACOM refused to do all of them. Fox was so pressed for time, they had to air the episode with errors still in it. The second episode, even worse. Delivered so close to deadline that 50 scenes were missing. They edited the whole thing in a single marathon day. No retakes. Fox was furious. They actually pulled the series from the schedule just to let the animators catch up. But here's the thing. Despite all those production nightmares, X-Men premiered to top ratings. The audience didn't care about animation hiccups. They cared that someone was finally taking Marvel's mutants seriously. When Fox re-aired the pilot in early 1993, with the errors fixed, the show exploded. X-Men reached over 23 million households. It became one of the highest-rated, most-watched Saturday morning programs in American history. 5 seasons, 76 episodes. During its peak years, 1995 and 1996, the show aired on weekday afternoons too, not just Saturdays. You literally couldn't escape it, and nobody wanted to. But X-Men did something even bigger than dominate ratings. It proved kids would embrace serialized storytelling. It proved they could handle complex themes like prejudice and being a social outcast. Fox executives had worried the target audience, kids under 10, wouldn't care about romantic love triangles or ongoing storylines. Loesch and her team knew better, and the ripple effects hit Hollywood hard. Fox's film division was so impressed, they bought the movie rights in 1994. That eventually led to the X-Men movie in 2000, which kicked off over 2 decades of mutant films. But in 1993, an even bigger phenomenon was waiting in the wings. One that almost got Margaret Loesch fired. Section 3. Go-Go Power Rangers. Haim Saban, Israeli-American entertainment mogul. One day he's on a business trip to Japan, flipping through TV channels, and he stumbles onto this show called Chowdenshi Bioman, part of a long-running franchise called Super Sentai. Color-coded heroes fighting rubber-suited monsters. Wildly popular in Japan. Saban became absolutely convinced that with some creative editing and new American footage, he could adapt Super Sentai for Western audiences. One problem though, nobody wanted it. Saban and his partner, Shuki Levy, shopped this concept around for at least 5 years. Every network passed. Every executive thought it was too weird, too Japanese, too campy, until Margaret Loesch. See, Loesch had actually seen something similar years earlier at Marvel Productions. Stan Lee had tried selling a show called Sun Vulcan to networks. Loesch remembered it. So when Saban brought her his rough pilot, she saw what everyone else had missed. But convincing Fox to greenlight the show? That was a whole other battle. Loesch's own bosses, including Rupert Murdoch himself, thought she'd completely lost it. They told her she was gambling with her career. She should just cancel the series before it ever aired. Fox only financed a pilot with the understanding that if it bombed, Loesch might get fired. She greenlit it anyway. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers premiered August 28, 1993. 8-week summer run. School was out, kids were on vacation, so ratings expectations were kept deliberately low. Industry insiders figured nobody would watch some crazy campy kids show. They figured very, very wrong. Power Rangers became an instant phenomenon. By end of 1993, it was the highest-rated kids show on broadcast television. The Saturday show pulled a 12.5 rating with kids ages 2 to 11. Weekdays did a 7.2. For comparison, the next highest non-Fox show was ABC's Tales from the Crypt Keeper at 7.5. But the real money wasn't in ratings. It was merchandise. Bandai, the Japanese toy company, partnered with Saban on action figures, morphers, Megazords. Stores couldn't keep anything in stock. Parents were literally fighting each other in toy aisles. By end of December 1994, Power Rangers merchandise had generated $1 billion in just 15 months. I need you to really hear that number. $1 billion. 15 months. By 1995, sales were exceeding $1 billion per year. Power Rangers became the #1 boys brand in the entire world from 1993 to 1997. By 2001, the franchise had generated over $6 billion in toy sales. Margaret Loesch bet her career on a campy show about teenagers in spandex fighting rubber monsters. She was spectacularly, undeniably right. Section 4. The Golden Age. With X-Men and Power Rangers leading the charge, Fox Kids pulled off something remarkable. By 1993, they'd become the #1 children's programming block among major networks, a position they'd hold for years. At their peak in 1997, 21% of the 2 to 11 demographic. That's 1 in every 5 kids watching television, tuned into Fox. The lineup during this era was absolutely stacked.
Roger! Come here, boy!
Bobby's World premiered on the very first day of Fox Kids, back in 1990. Created by comedian Howie Mandel, who also voiced the main character. It ran 7 seasons, 81 episodes, making it the longest-running original show in Fox Kids history. Batman, the animated series, brought the Dark Knight to life like never before. Spider-Man followed in 1994, running 65 episodes. Both came from Warner Brothers Animation, one of Fox Kids' biggest content suppliers in the early years. Goosebumps adapted R.L. Stine's horror books, proving Fox would take on shows the big 3 wouldn't touch. The Tick delivered absurdist superhero comedy. Animaniacs, another Steven Spielberg production from Warner Brothers, had jokes that worked for kids while sneaking in humor that flew right over their heads to entertain the parents. Fox Kids also launched the Fox Kids Club. Marketing genius, honestly. Over 5 million members signed up. Kids got membership kits with cards and stickers, plus Totally Fox Kids magazine, which ran from 1991 to 2001. Each local Fox affiliate even had its own customized version, with local hosts and special events. This was the golden age. Fox Kids wasn't just competing with the big 3 anymore, they were dominating them. But the seeds of destruction? Already being planted. Section 5. Trouble in Paradise. First major blow hit in 1994 and 1995. Warner Brothers wanted their cartoons back. Warner Brothers Animation had been one of Fox Kids' most valuable partners. Batman, Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures, massive hits. But when the WB network launched in January 1995, Warner saw an opportunity to keep those properties in-house. Kids WB premiered September 9th, 1995. Warner Brothers pulled Animaniacs, reportedly after a heated dispute with Fox over the show's time slot getting given to Power Rangers. Tiny Toon Adventures followed. Batman stayed on Fox a couple more years due to contracts, but it eventually moved to Kids WB in 1997. Losing Warner Brothers. Content hurt, but Fox Kids was still on top. For now. In 1996, Fox Kids merged with Saban Entertainment to form Fox Kids Worldwide. The idea? Create a powerhouse that could expand internationally and compete with growing cable threats like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. News Corporation and Haim Saban each own 49.5% of the new company. Following year, 1997, Fox Kids Worldwide acquired International Family Entertainment, owner of the Family Channel, for $1.9 billion. The goal was launching a cable outlet called Fox Family Channel to go head-to-head with Nick and Cartoon Network. But this mega acquisition came with a cost. July 1997. Margaret Loesch got promoted to vice chairman. On paper, sounds like a reward. In reality, everyone inside and outside the company knew it was the opposite. Critics pointed out that despite her hits, she'd never delivered a property with merchandising opportunities that Fox actually owned. Most Power Rangers money went to Saban and Bandai. Loesch resigned in November 1997, and with her departure, Fox Kids lost the executive who built the whole thing from scratch. Section 6. The Fall. Late 90s brought challenge after challenge. In 1998, Fox bought out its affiliates' interest in Fox Kids to help pay for the network's expensive NFL football package. The weekday block got cut from 3 hours to just 2. Meanwhile, Fox Family Channel struggled to find its identity. Company resources kept getting split between broadcast and cable. Then came the knockout punch. In 1999, Kids WB acquired broadcasting rights to Pokemon. The anime phenomenon had already conquered Japan. When it hit American airwaves, it became an absolute juggernaut. Kids WB ratings surged. And for the first time since 1992, Fox Kids was no longer number one. Fox Kids' response was Digimon.
We're safe? We're okay? Is this a fish raft?
We won't be safe for long.
Licensed and dubbed by Saban Entertainment, Digimon built its own loyal fan base, became Fox Kids' highest-rated show in the early 2000s. But it never came close to matching Pokemon's cultural dominance. Worse, Fox Kids' strategy of heavily promoting Digimon and Power Rangers while canceling almost everything else pushed away viewers who wanted variety. By 2001, Fox Kids had collapsed from 21% of the 2 to 11 demographic to just 9%. ABC's One Saturday Morning had overtaken them back in 1997. Kids WB surpassed them in 1998. Nickelodeon's cable programming was now outrating all the broadcast networks combined. Fox Family Channel experienced a catastrophic 35% audience decline. Haim Saban tried forcing News Corporation to sell their stake in the joint venture. The two sides couldn't agree on a valuation. The conflict eventually led to a decision that would have seemed unthinkable just a few years earlier. July 23, 2001. News Corporation and Haim Saban announced they were selling Fox Family worldwide to the Walt Disney Company. Price tag? $5.3 billion. $3 billion cash, plus $2.3 billion in debt assumption. Yes, that Disney. The same company whose dispute with Fox over DuckTales had partly inspired Fox Kids' creation in the first place. After 11 years of competition, Disney won. Section 7. The end of an era. Acquisition closed October 24, 2001. Disney took control of Fox Family Channel, rebranding it ABC Family. They got the international Fox Kids networks, the entire Saban Entertainment library. But the Fox Kids block on Saturday mornings? That stayed with Fox, temporarily. With the Saban library now owned by a competitor, Fox had zero interest in continuing children's programming. They started looking for someone else to take over. December 2001. Fox discontinued all weekday children's programming, handed the time back to local affiliates. The Saturday morning block limped along with leftover content. September 7th, 2002. Fox Kids aired for the final time. The following week, September 14th, a new block called Foxbox debuted, programmed by 4Kids Entertainment, the company behind the Pokemon dub. It later got renamed 4Kids TV, but that ended too, in December 2008. Fox gave 2 hours of Saturday morning back to affiliates. Used the remaining time for infomercials. The Saturday morning cartoon block, a television tradition that had existed for decades, was effectively dead on Fox. Conclusion. Looking back, it's kind of remarkable how much Fox Kids accomplished in just 12 years. They took Saturday morning cartoons and made them must-see television. They proved kids could handle serialized storytelling, complex themes, shows that didn't talk down to them. They launched franchises generating billions of dollars, spawning movies still being made today. X-Men was so successful that its revival, X-Men 97, premiered on Disney Plus in March 2024 to critical acclaim. Power Rangers ran 30 seasons across multiple networks and streaming services before finally ending in 2023. That's a full 3 decades after those first teenagers morphed into action. Margaret Loesch went on to launch the Hub Network for Hasbro and Discovery. Haim Saban became a billionaire. He bought Power Rangers back from Disney in 2010 for $43 million, eventually sold it to Hasbro in 2018. But for those of us who grew up watching Fox Kids, the legacy isn't about corporate acquisitions or billion-dollar deals. It's about racing downstairs on Saturday morning, knowing that for the next 4 hours, you'd see the X-Men fight Sentinels, watch Spider-Man swing through New York, yell, "It's morphin time," right along with your TV. Fox Kids didn't just give us cartoons. It gave us a shared childhood experience. The block itself is long gone, but those Saturday mornings live on in our memories. And yeah, on streaming services too, if you know where to look. So here's to Fox Kids, to Margaret Loesch, who bet her career on mutants and teenagers in spandex, to Haim Saban, who spent 5 years pitching a show nobody wanted until he found someone who believed, and to all of us who woke up early, poured the cereal, and settled in for the best 4 hours of the week. Thanks for watching. If this trip down memory lane hit you right in the nostalgia, drop a like and subscribe for more videos about the shows, movies, and games that defined our childhood. Let me know in the comments. What was your favorite Fox Kids show? I'll see you in the next one.